everybody. This is Hector from International MMA Channel. Going to give you my picks for UFC 166 coming up next Saturday. It's the 19th. We're going to do something a little bit different with this one. We're actually going to go with the Fox Sports 1 prelim card because that one itself can actually be an event on its own. We start off with George Soparopoulos versus KJ Noons. This is a lightweight battle. KJ Noons looks like he's on a tear right now in the lightweight division, and this is going to be actually an interesting one with George last time losing to Ross Pearson. This one, I think it's going to go towards the Strikeforce fighter, KJ Noons. So that's going to actually be my pick for that fight, George Soparopoulos versus KJ Noons. I see KJ Noons getting the W on that one. The next one is a bantamweight in the women's division. That's Sarah Kaufman versus Jessica Eye. Jessica Eye, believe both of them did fight in Strikeforce. I think Jessica Eye did take a fight in Invicta. Not really certain. I'll have to check on that one. I'm going to go ahead and give this one to Jessica Eye. Sarah Kaufman is a tough veteran, but I think Jessica Eye has the advantage in this one. After that, we move up to Nate Marquardt versus Hector Lombard. Hector Lombard's had some issues coming from Bellator into the UFC division. A lot of his fights have not gone his way. Nate Marquardt, if you remember, was banned from the UFC, and they vowed to never bring him back in the UFC. He's back because he was part of the Strikeforce buy-in, and he came out last time, did a spectacular performance, so this is going to be his second one coming back to the UFC. On this one, I would like to see Hector Lombard do something and actually prove that he can still fight in the UFC. I kind of see this one going either way. If Nate loses or Hector loses, I see either one of these guys actually getting cut from the UFC. But my pick on this one's going to be Hector Lombard. I think he has better striking power, more distance. Nate Marquardt on the Strikeforce one was really slow, really sluggish. So that's going to be my pick. It's going to be Hector Lombard for that fight. Then we go to Tim Bochek versus CB Dollaway. This is going to be a middleweight fight. Tim Bochek was on a tear and was actually up in the top contender until his last recent loss. Now with him coming back from that loss, he's going to fight CB Dollaway. I'm going to go ahead and have to give this one to Tim Bochek. Tim Bochek on this one. That's going to be my pick for that fight. Then we go to the pay-per-view event. Pay-per-view event starts off with the flyweights. John Dobson versus Terrell Montague. This is going to be probably one of the best fights of the entire night. Flyweights are very competitive, very fast. Not a lot of knockout power, but these guys can bang for all 3 rounds. Great cardio with these smaller fighters. I'm going to have to give it to John Dobson. I think the Magician's going to actually shine on this one. And I'm actually excited that this flyweight fight is actually going to be on the pay-per-view event. So people will get to see more of the flyweights. John Dobson, of course, lost to Demetrius Johnson last time. I only see John Dobson getting better, and so I'm going to give this one to John Dobson. Then we move up to the heavyweight fights. Gabriel Gonzaga versus Sean Jordan. Gabriel Gonzaga. Gabriel Gonzaga was cut out of the UFC. He's on, I think, so far from coming back on a 2-fight win streak. This one with Sean Jordan, I'm going to have to give it to Gabriel Gonzaga. The guy, wants to be in the UFC and wants to continue to start being in there. Heavyweights divisions got stacked and it's only getting bigger. But I don't see Sean Jordan having any kind of real comeback with Gabriel Gonzaga. I think he's a seasoned fighter and a better fighter in the striking distances. So that one's going to go to Gabriel Gonzaga. The next one is a very interesting fight. We haven't seen Diego Sanchez in probably a year and a half or 2. He's coming back, and they're actually fighting Gilbert Melendez. And this is a lightweight fight. Gilbert Melendez versus Diego Sanchez. This is not... I wouldn't say it's going to be a spectacular fight because we have no idea what Diego Sanchez is going to look like, if there's any ring rust from him being gone for so long out of the division. But I think it's going to be a great market point to show the potential that Gilbert Melendez has. Last time he fought, he lost to the last current champion, Benson Henderson. I think if Gilbert Melendez can beat Diego Sanchez in this fight, I think he might have a rematch back with Benson Henderson, and then possibly can be the top two contender, and then fight Anthony Pettis. It's just going to show how spectacular fashion if he can take Diego Sanchez out. Diego Sanchez, not to give nothing away, this guy's a tough fighter, but I think Gilbert Melendez is more of a tactician. He's very wise in where he chooses. He keeps in the outside distance, and once he gets into the distance, he does a lot of things that you don't see a lot of normal UFC fighters do. That is working the body, moving out of range, going for the takedowns. He is the true mixed martial artist in this fight, and I'm going to go ahead and give this to Gilbert Melendez. Then our co-main event, a heavyweight bout. This is basically number 2 versus number 4 in the division of the heavyweights. This is Daniel Cormier versus Roy Nelson. This is going to be a spectacular fight. Unfortunately, I don't see Roy Nelson winning this one. He's always had questions with his cardio. I think this is going to be the same deal that he's going to have to do. Roy Nelson's going to have to look for a Hail Mary uppercut to take Daniel Cormier out of this picture. But if Daniel Cormier does what he's done through Strikeforce, he's going to basically, and what he did to Frank Mir, he's basically going to smother and just grapple him and take him down to the ground. Roy Nelson, I think, is going to lose cardio, and I'm just going to give a decision. I'm even going to predict this one. This is going to be a decision win by Daniel Cormier. Main event, Cain Velasquez versus Junior Dos Santos for the heavyweight championship belt. Current holder is Cain Velasquez, who did strip the belt away last time from Junior Dos Santos. So this is a very exciting fight. This is number 3. The first time they fought, Cain was the champion. Junior Dos Santos knocked him out in a quick way, and in the very first round. And it was, I believe, it was the first Fox Sports card, and people were upset because how fast this fight ended. And the next time around, Cain was better in his boxing, kept his distance, and dominated this guy for 5 rounds. He basically manhandled Junior Dos Santos in the last one. There's pictures of how Junior Dos Santos looked. He was in bad condition out of this last fight, and I don't see anything different coming from this fight. I see Cain Velasquez doing exactly what he implemented with Junior Dos Santos in the last fight, and that's basically when Junior Dos Santos wants to box, he's gonna out wrestle him. When Junior Dos Santos wants to wrestle, he's gonna outbox him. This is the kind of style that he's gonna do. I don't think there's nothing for him to change. I still see Cain Velasquez being the champion, and that leaves a big problem because, as we all know, training buddies with Cain Velasquez is Daniel Cormier. Daniel Cormier is the true top second contender to fight, and they have said in the past that they will not fight each other. May it be, UFC is a business, and this is a fight that we're going to actually want to see eventually in the end. So I kind of see Cain Velasquez winning this one, and he will have to face Daniel Cormier for the next run for his belt. This is Hector from International MMA Channel. Follow us on Twitter at IMMA Channel. Follow us on Facebook at International MMA Channel. And on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe. Everybody have good nights, good fights. Bye.